Hi there, Adam here. Thanks for checking out this video on the R3-G from SNRC or SNRC, also known as from Team Power's MTS R3-G. So this is a follow-up video of after I had the car for about a week at this point. So I've been slowly working on it as well as other things to get ready for the on-road season, which is going to take place in about 2 weeks from now. So since having this car, I had torn it down to just go over the car, get familiar with it, and to make sure all the screws are tight, and also to put Loctite on any screws that are going into metal. First thing I like to say, a lot of things I read up is that people saying the screws were too loose, they weren't tight or anything like that. I found with this particular kit, everything was like a perfect tightness. It wasn't too tight, but not too loose. It just felt really good. A good twist with the screwdriver, cracked them free. Everything came apart well. Fit and finish was fantastic. Overall, I mean, for again, you gotta base it on this kit costing around $100 US. Fit and finish was fantastic. Shocks and diff felt great, but I had changed it. I put 60 weight in the rear and the front just to test that out, and 3,000 weight in the rear. This will be ran on black CRC carpet, so we'll see how that goes. So one thing I kind of have done or adjusted is I put a small 2mm spacer underneath the ball stud for the steering link, just because I didn't like how close the link was for the steering, so I thought it was going to be a bind or won't give me full travel, so I adjusted that. Anyways, to the point of this video, I plan to run a shorty battery, and as you can see here, I have a shorty 6,000 milliamp battery here. Nothing great. It's like a DXF Amazon or AliExpress kind of battery. But I've made, luckily I had access to a mill machine. I made some brass battery weights, and I've made it slotted so I can adjust the weight transfer from the front or rear depending on how all my electronics lay out. So in this video, I'm just going to kind of show these little brackets and installing it. So without getting into that, a couple things I wanted to point out. So what was not shown in the video, in my first video, you can see it has actually aluminum hexes as well, which was a shock to me. I didn't expect that. So that was another addition that is really great to point out. When mounting the servo, I did find you have to be kind of careful. I might need to take out the one kind of washer they use to, they include washers and screws for mounting the servo, but I might need to take the one out. It is, I don't know if you can see that, it is right there on the belt. When I first installed the servo, I was right into the belt. So just take note of that. I have swapped out the spur. Originally it comes with a 84 or an 87 tooth spur. I have the 72 tooth spur in here, which is going to work hopefully well for running 21.5 turn motors. So with installing this, I had some brass bar at work I was able to get hold of, and I just milled them out. Nothing too complex. I took dimensions measured from the original battery tray, and I just sketched it out and just went with a manual mill. The stock battery hold down I think is actually going to be really good for the average person. The only concern I have is that it spaces out the battery about 1.5 to 2 millimeters. Also, if you were planning to run the shorty pack batteries, which it allows you to because it has a hole placement for it, the side of the battery brace goes right into the motor mount, so I initially had to cut that. So with the two brackets I made, I have this back here notched out to clear around the motor mount, and this section, the bracket is beveled or angled to kind of fit underneath the belt. I stole this top bracket or brace from a different RC buggy that I had. I took that, I sanded off the name just so you didn't you read what it was. I had some wide flat screws, and I put a nut underneath it, so it kind of just sets as a stop so that I don't lose a screw. And from first fitment, it seems promising. So installing it is relatively easy. I'm using, this brass is 1/4 inch thick, by the way. I'm going to confirm that. Yeah. I don't know if you'll be able to read that, but it's a 1/4 inch thick brass. And I'm using M3 countersunk 12 millimeter long screws with nylon locking nuts to hold them in place. So first I will just get them started. I need to get that bracket underneath the belt first, and then I can fire the screw up. Now, these screws are not included with the car kit. What I ended up purchasing off of Amazon, which is actually going to be super convenient, is a screw pack of both button head and flathead sockets for M3. 720 pieces in total. And they start off with 100 pieces at 4mm, 80 pieces at 6mm, 70 of 8mm, 60 of 10mm, and 50 of 12mm. As well as I purchased a 50 pack of nylon locking nuts. So I'm just going to get these close to the bracket but not tightened down. That way I have adjustment to fit the battery in. So I want to just loose enough that I can slide that bracket around. Now that's done, what we'll do is we'll drop in the battery. So because of the slots on the brackets made of brass, it's going to allow me to adjust the weight balance of the car and the battery. Depending on how the electronics are installed in place, I might have more rear bias or more front bias. Ideally, I like to have a 50-50 balance, but it's going to be kind of hard because you got your motor, I got my speed controller here, my fan behind the motor, and so forth, and servo. Obviously, my motor is going to be the heaviest part, so my weight's going to be more balanced here, especially the speed controller. I'm going to assume my weight's going to be somewhere centralized here around a 55-40 weight balance. So with the slots, I can slide my battery back and forth to hopefully match my right side and my left side. Or, sorry, left side, right side. So you can see right now I have roughly a 1/4 inch, if not more, of travel. So between the weight of the battery and the brass brackets, I should have, be able to get really close to what I need my weight to be, equal on all 4 sides. I forgot to mention and show, but between the brass weights or brass battery holders and this little strap, the weight is about 80 grams, probably about 81 grams. And the battery weighs around 200, 220. So this puts me around a large capacity standard size battery. So what I'm going to do is roughly currently right now, the battery centered between the slots. And I will snug this down. So the front snugged. I'm going to push the back tight. And unfortunately, must have moved the whole battery because I'm a little bit, looks like rear bias, but that'll be fine for now for demonstration purposes. So once that's installed, I can just screw on the back side of the bracket, and I can then throw it in the front. And like that, my battery should not be going anywhere. When I'm at the track and after a race I need to service my battery, all I need to do is unthread this one side, swing the arm away, pull my battery out. So I'm really looking forward to testing this out, and we'll see how it goes. The next video you'll see of this vehicle is it will be completed with electronics for running USGT class. So I am just waiting to get hold of a team or Gravity USGT spec motor. So this was Adam, and thank you for checking out my update video on my SNRC R3-G 110 scale touring car. Have a good one.